Okay. We appear... We appear to have video. We appear to have stream. We may, in fact, even have a video stream.
We may also, in fact... I was just telling Damon about how some of the lore behind Star Force.
Hmm.
So what I was saying in Damon is that Geo is, because of his dad, because of Geo's dad going missing and presumed dead, and Geo is under the firm, ends up of such an emotional shut-in, and that he tries to avoid any form of social activity, which includes school. But of course, his class president, Luna Platz, or Shirogane in the Japanese version, tries to force him to go back along with her goon squad, which consists of big fat tough guy named Bud and a little weasel by the name of Zack. I don't like Zack. I'm like, somehow I now have a greater appreciation for many of this cast, except for Zack. I hate him. And until Geo meets Omegasis, and he becomes a Super Sentai hero. Oh, because the way that he and Omegasis fuse is straight out of a Sentai, a Super Sentai sequence. Even has a Super Sentai catchphrase, Alex. I wish I was joking.
Searching, destroying, all done at Mach speed.
Actually, it's EM Wave Change Geostellar on the air. And yes, as Boomstick has informed the audience, as Death Battle has informed the audience, and Omega Sis is a part of a race of beings known as the FMians. You know, radio frequency, AM, yeah. FM.
Yep.
But and after being somewhat forcefully recruited into Omegasis's little shindig,
I was gonna unlock this for no particular reason.
Geo has to go through many. Has to go through much pain and strife. As Super Sentai hero Mega Man. I only call it that just because it
extra strong.
I only call him Super Sentai hero just because, you know, like I said, it feels ripped straight out of a Super Sentai.
Kind of Kamen Rider, to be honest.
Okay. Isn't Kamen Rider Sentai?
No, Kamen Rider is Tokusatsu. Tokusatsu and Sentai are... Sorry,
okay,
Rider and Sentai are both Tokusatsu.
Okay, Tokusatsu, Mega Man. Though sadly, he does not declare himself as an emissary from Hell. As neat as that would be.
Sup, bitches, I'm Spider-Man. I'm here to kick your ass.
That is pretty much Tokusatsu Spider-Man in a nutshell.
Still a better adaptation than early Tom Holland.
You really think Brand New Day is going to do any form of justice to him?
Well, I mean, they already did a good job with No Way Home, so I think possibly.
You gave that movie a 5 out of 10.
Yeah? It's a step in the right direction.
That means they barely did anything, right?
No, no, 2 out of 10 means they barely did anything right.
So yeah. Point in there's a point in the Star Force games where there are various bits in the Star Force games where you swear Omegasis is quite based.
Hmm.
Mostly due to a number of the scenes he has with another Femian who at first was an enemy, but then ends up being a good guy in the form of Harp. Weirdly enough, in the original localization, she went by Lyra.
Yeah.
And then, for whatever...
You could have said liar. Lyra is like a liar, you know?
The
Lyre is
way it's
kind of like a
spelled.
harp.
The way Lyra is spelled as though it were lyrical.
Ah.
So, in essence, it's like it's the way that the term is spelled.
Ah.
It's like there's a point in the game where the first person Geo ever forms a brother band, which is meant to be like a strong bond in the Star Force universe. It's like at one point she gets really emotional and starts crying, and Omegasis says at one point he watched a show where apparently it's a crime to for trying to make a woman cry. He says, "Quick, we gotta stop her before we're arrested." and I'm like, Omegasis, I don't think you understand what the character in that show meant by it being a crime. He wasn't being literal.
No.
Doesn't stop him from being somewhat literal minded. But yeah, I feel like now that we have, and they even put in for the Legacy Collection, they even put in voice clips from and got quite a bit of the voice cast from the anime back. I was surprised to hear Melissa Fawn back since she's been in more union productions than non-union. Hi, Zero.
Hello, I've somehow managed to get my game to actually work again.
Yeah. Having issues with RE9 on Steam.
Not so much the game, more so OBS. OBS was being a bitch. I had to restart my computer. So now there's just an hour of me getting mild progress done, combined with dicking around trying to get the game to work.
So Zero.
Yeah.
I was telling Alex and Damon about the Mega Man some of the Mega Man Star Force stuff, and it was like I ended up getting to a point where I mentioned that quite a bit of the voice cast from the anime did reprise including, to my surprise, Melissa Fawn, since last I checked, she hasn't really been in non-union stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she's been in a lot more she's been in a lot more union things, especially stuff like
Honkai Star Rail was the one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah. Though for some people in like American material, Melissa Fawn was the voice of Gaz from Invader Zim.
That is true.
You lie!
You lie!
You know, tomorrow is Peace Day, and nobody's as excited for the big celebration as I am. I am not scientifically possible!
Oh, shit.
I love Roger Bumpus is in that role. Like, he's the crazy scientist dad, but he's just a goofy scientist dad.
Yeah.
Yuck. It's time to hook up the electrodes to Frankenstein's neck, Max.
Oh, just like how people were shocked when they found out Bill Farmer, aside from him playing Goofy, is Detective Makoto Date, and as I've established already in the Like a Dragon / Yakuza series. The name's Yuki. Oh, glorious. Detective Goofy here. Oh, that sounded rough. Yeah.
It's also... It was still also... interesting to hear Jason Spizek back as Geo, since I have said before, he's been in a lot more union than non-union stuff.
Yeah. I feel like, that's kind of in the similar case when I think I found out Christine Marie Cabanos has mostly been union these days, I feel. Since I haven't heard her in, not as much anime. Aside from her reprising her roles here and there.
Damn it! I missed a tumbleweed. So yeah. And Zara, you know who Melissa Fawn voiced in the Star Force or stuff, right?
I think so.
She was Luna Shirogane / Platts.
Mm-hmm. Been so long since I seen her. I think the last time I got to see her was when Anime Los Angeles had the Cowboy Bebop reunion, and that was actually the time I actually got to see her, and I think even a handful of the VAs for that.
And for people wondering who she played in that, she was Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Not Ed, and Eddie, but...
And of course, for the...
Radical Edward.
Yeah.
Radical Edward, whose dad had quite literally almost beat the piss out of Spike and Jet.
I would have loved to have seen... One of the things I've wanted was for them to do, a Season 2 of Cowboy Bebop, where they just sort of inexplicably... It's Spike survived all that somehow.
Yeah,
but...
And
it's
then,
even
and then
more...
Radical Edward's dad had just be hanging around as yeah, I'm a big motherfucker. Here I am.
Yeah, but that feels like a plot of a crack fic.
I know.
One of those kinds.
Have you perhaps been taking something, Alex?
Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you've seen that pitch I made for a Terminator fanfic.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I've been tossing around the idea, I think the only people who know are Kevin and Bender, the idea of having... This video is anti-sponsored by Gator Frameworks again. Please don't buy their products.
I'm guessing you've had beef with them?
they made the mic stand that I've got. It used to be a good mic stand, and now it appears to want to become flaccid at every opportunity.
So
So,
basically, it's kind of lost its usefulness. Yeah,
although
check that out.
It's still better than the Radio Shack mic stand I replaced it with. Sorry, I used to
although going
replace
back
it.
although going back to one of the first roles I heard Melissa Fawn in was at as Rika or Ruki Makino in Digimon,
Yeah.
who is also a tsundere.
Mm-hmm.
To which
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like seeing people post about the anime and whatnot. I'm like, not the first time Melissa Fawn has
I
voiced
just
a
I just came up
tsundere.
with the I just came up with the pitch for it. Okay, so Spike wakes up in a hospital bed next to Radical Edward's dad,
Mm.
who's hooked up to a blood transfusion machine, and he says, "Boy, you lost a lot of blood, didn't you?"
Spike be like, how did you even find me?
Oh, who are
Well,
you?
I looked for all of the mayhem.
And Edward's just like, I told the father person where you were.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And
Thanks.
Spike's like,
Thank you, crazy child.
you know, the thing about the way that Cowboy Bebop was ending, it's like, yeah, at that point you knew it was coming to an end, and
Yeah,
by the 24th episode,
there wasn't
Mhm.
really any other way. Hey, it was gonna go it was gonna go pretty dark by that point.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
And
especially consider.
for as much as I, people like to say is like, yeah, it's would have been nice to have a season 2. I agree. I do also understand why they ended it where they did, because it's nice to
yeah.
end something on your own terms as opposed to having a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of bullshit happen and then a revival happens and then it's not the same and then everything's
Freedom
bad.
justice.
Yeah, in fact,
And that happened 3 times.
oh yeah.
Yep. So
Okay, so I'm looking at the background history of Cowboy Bebop. It was said that Japan's airing of it apparently was very interesting because on TV Tokyo, where it says here it only aired episodes 2 to 3, 7 to 15, and 18 were broadcast. It was
What the
concluded
fuck?
with a recap special known as Yosei Atsume Blues. This was due to anime censorship having increased following the big controversies over Evangelion. As a result of most of the series was pulled from the air due to violent content.
Ava is responsible for why certain things were the way they were in Cowboy Bebop.
Could
How odd.
possibly, yeah.
So
And okay, and to follow up, satellite channel Wow picked up the series in the fall of that year and aired it in its entirety uncensored. So, there's at least some hope at the end of the day. Tunnel. So, yeah.
Okay, cadaver on the table is where I was last.
now,
With that thing,
although
that
one role
thing,
I
blood,
genuinely did not
atoms.
expect, although one character I did not genuinely expect to have Melissa Fawn's voice was Ryder in Fate Stay Night.
Mm-hmm. Where we
And
went from Karen
Okay, yeah.
Stressman to her, but
and
I can go either way.
and it was like she actually sounded what I imagined her to sound like.
Mm-hmm. And she would later go on to voice her again in the other Fate series, especially
That
the First Order and Babylonia.
I still find it weird
Endless
that they
corpse
couldn't get
shooting
Kari
fireball.
Walgrant in
Apocrypha?
Apocrypha
Lobby.
since that was Union dubbed.
Yeah. And I get the reason why, like, Merlin had a change in VA, because, like, initially they weren't even sure if Koi Dao was gonna be stayed on as Merlin, but ultimately we got Robbie Damon instead for Babylonian onwards. Just to match up with him and Takahiro Sakurai. 'Cause there was that Final Fantasy Type Zero game where Robbie does end up playing Sakurai's role in that.
Yay.
Okay, that's where I need to be. And this is where I've already been.
Although that did leave me head scratching with Hate Extra Last Encore, where Kotomine, even though he only has like maybe didn't have a whole lot of lines, was just played by Armin Taylor just for that small scene he had in the first episode.
That made no sense.
Yeah.
He doesn't even sound like a good Kotomine.
He doesn't even sound like he's matching Joji Nakata or like any, Crispin or Jameson at all.
Ay.
And it's even more baffling, even for those who probably never played Fate Extra or Fate Extra CCC, probably won't even understand what the heck is going on unless you played those two games to understand what is going on. Thankfully, I did play through Fate Extra after
Oh, damn it.
feeling kinda disappointed with Last Encore. Although, to be fair, the saving graces was that both Chris Patton and Vic Mignogna were in those.
And it done fucked up. But I remember where I need to go now. Which is better than I was before.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, buddy.
I just reminded that interview with the Ad Boys, Matt Hill, Sam Vincent, and Tony Sampson, where they had a little reunion, and it was just fun galore experiences of their time recording on the show. And then Matt Hill brings up they had their own little trailer cars where they go, "Fuck you, buddy, get Ed." Although at the very least during that interview, it's Tony Sampson could still pull off the voice despite how much it really hurted his vocals.
Ooh. There's blood in the medication room.
Woo!
Oh wee oh. Oh wee oh wee oh.
We blood.
I do not know sure how I feel about Robbie Damon as Kenshiro, especially in that Lost Paradise game. Mostly, it's cast consisting of VAs from Yakuza. Certainly a choice.
So, although, in terms of my progress in the game, I had in the first Star Force game, I have met best girl Sonya.
Mm.
And in Zero, as I mentioned, the localization actually corrected a infamous error with the Star Force series in that Lyra is now just Harp or in the English translation.
Mm. Yeah. That's it. Right.
By the way, I just checked the Requiem poll again that IGN had, and it's up to nearly 600,000 votes, and they still haven't wiped it. That's
I wonder why.
That's weird. Maybe it's because the person they wanted to win is winning now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, brother. You gotta do your steroids if you want to become a hotshot WWF wrestler.
Isn't it WWE?
It was the
Oh, I might as well
WWF
know.
back in my day, brother.
Yeah. So that just happened.
So,
Ah, shit. I'm going the other way now.
tell me something, Alex.
Yeah?
Now, what kind of RPG do you expect the Star Force to be like, since it takes place in the same universe as the Battle Network series?
Tactical.
Who wants to tell him?
It's gonna be a regular old turn-based, isn't it?
No.
Well, since you asked, let's see if I can look this up.
Battles in Star Force are fought on a 5x3 grid, in which you are...
A real-time
Are-
tactical RPG.
Okay, so it was tactics.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Capcom taking a page out of Square Enix. Or Squaresoft.
Except it's not a Fire Emblem based. It's
Yep.
RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fuck this. I'm gonna save scum this. I'm not going back to get those steroids again.
Ah.
Sometimes you gotta save state as a last resort.
Oh, I'm not actually. I'm not
Yep.
actually save stating. I'm just save scumming, as in like
Okay.
I'm setting a separate
East.
save in case I fuck up.
Good call.
Yep, fair enough.
Like an alternate save in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be back. If not, I'm probably gonna be heading off because I've got to return a package for my dad. So,
That's okay.
alright. Yeah, I might come back, but
It's fine.
Got some more ink ribbons. Take the sting off of me having to save scum that shit. Okay, back to the blood lab. To the blood lab we go.
Although one thing to note. Although one thing to note, Alex,
Yeah?
I feel like part of the life that the protagonist I have described to you who lives is somewhat similar to one Blue Beetle.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention Blue Beetle, because I was just watching a review of a thing called... I think it was called Justice Beetle. And it's like a bad knockoff of Blue Beetle.
What?
Yeah, Justice Beetle.
You're gonna have to run that by me a couple more times before
okay.
it sinks in.
Okay, so... Do you want to know what the character's name is?
What is the character's name?
Dan Garrett.
As in the OG Blue Beetle.
Uh-huh.
People be like, how do you even know that? You don't read comics. I'm like,
I read comics.
and I have this wonderful thing called the internet.
Get ready.
Just
Get set. We're surfing on the internet.
or as Venom wants to see, are we gonna surf the web? I love Venom in that game. So,
God damn it. Well,
yeah, if you're... Oh, and at one point in this game... In this game series that talks... that goes into some somewhat heavy subjects here and there. We have... We have a guy whom, as I've told you before when I was summarizing the plot, summarizing part of the game's plot, is named Tom Dubious. That's how it's pronounced in the show. Whom, after being manipulated by a swan. How much of this do you think I'm making up?
I know you well enough to know that it's probably nothing.
Yeah, the swan known as Cygnus.
Oh, damn it.
Which is based off of the Swan constellation. Takes over this guy, and while everybody is inside of a space simulator, or I wish I was joking here, they actually have this in the future. Or I'm sorry, I gotta do the
in the future.
Thank you. In the future. So while everybody is touring the various planets, which sadly do not include Pluto, because in the future, Pluto is no longer a planet.
Lame, 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 lame.
Yes, I agree. But then when everybody ends up looking at Mr. Dubious possessed by Cygnus, they all perform a pretty ballerina dance, which normally would be very silly, but given the context and the fact that there is limited oxygen inside of where they are, that seems very dangerous.
No, I don't think I will.
But
hey,
yeah.
Transfusion bag.
But yeah, that just feels like one of the various cases of like, oh, of like if you don't think about it, this seems a bit silly, but if you do think about it, you're like, ew, this is, oh yeah, this is definitely a problem. So,
What?
if you're into... Oh, although, keep in mind, the game also has quite the encounter rates. They even
Well, that's
added
also
a...
lame.
They even added a max encounter rate for this. Because apparently people hate themselves. I wish I was joking. Hello there, young lady.
Hey, can I pick up your thing? Whatever that is. No? Okay. Guess not. East Wing map. There we go.
And yes, and I
Lockpick.
believe you... And Alex, I believe you can adjust the encounter rate, especially with items that you can get in the game, so it's not that bad.
Unfortunately, Grace is not the master of unlocking and will immediately break this fucking pick upon trying to use it.
Because only the master of sandwiches can unlock this door.
Puzzle box is in the background. Yeah, I've already solved that fucking puzzle box thing. I think.
Alright, fine. I will go and store one of my shields, and I will be right back.
Moon, sun, star, moon.
Hello there, young lady.
Artificial organ transplant experimentation.
Ah. Hi. Whatever you say. Hey, thank you. Come again.
Misplaced my key for the puzzle box padlock. Bottle of corrosive from the conference room and melt the lock
late
off.
as usual.
Why do you keep a bottle of corrosive in the fucking conference room?
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, I would definitely give these games a look-see, or at least playing through the
ID
games.
wristband level 1! Whoa!
Oh.
You know, for some reason, I have the urge to quote that bit from Family Guy where Quagmire's like, "Whoa!" It's like, back off. So...
Alright, Blubbernut.
Hello there. Hey, what?
And this is why... This is why you gotta take that Ozempic, guys. Otherwise, you'll be too big to fit through a fucking door.
Now, Alex,
or even go to the amusement park or go on certain rides. But no, that's actually true.
Ooh, gratitude
Yeah.
crystals.
Hmm.
Yay!
Meanwhile, as I go on looking for more 3DS related stuff, man, trying to find a 3DS in a good condition is a whole can of worms off of when I
Yeah,
was
it
checking by
is.
Yeah, because I've seen some listings where like the screens are yellowed, and I think it's because some of them were in
Some of
Japan.
them probably
They
got
were
left out in the sun, or they got delaminated, or something like that.
Yeah, so much so like yeah, you're gonna have one of those cases where I have to probably take apart the 3DS and replace the screens, and even that's like already a bit of a hassle even for me. Like I already dealt with having to disassemble an arcade stick and swapping out the buttons and lever and all that, and
Yeah.
he was like, "That's probably the most I can handle," and also replacing the USB cable with a braided nylon one. So
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, because most of the arcade sticks I have come across, they just use the standard like plastic cords. That's and yeah, I think it might have been Mad Catz was one of the first instances where they did actually had the detachable braided cords, which were a godsend. Definitely worth keeping.
Oh, this will. Well, this will definitely be something we have to come back for. We gotta beat up desert hermit crabs.
You know, why can't you just put that fucking thing on, Grace?
Damn it!
Yeah. But if you were to ask me to do soldering, yeah, I ain't gonna. Not happening. Not anytime soon, anyways. Especially if it involves having to replace those batteries on those old cartridges.
Yep. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Damn lithium batteries.
Why you gotta be a hassle like that, man? It's just ain't it, Chief. It's just ain't it.
There's a reason
Ooh,
why I prefer
that's a
emulating Super
Requiem bullet.
Nintendo and Game Boy games.
Oh yeah. Thank you,
At least Game Boy Advance
MGBA.
don't. At least Game Boy Advance games don't have this issue.
And at the very least, since the whole thing with Fire Red Leaf Green being released on Switch, I at least have two means of.
Playing them in official capacity.
I will
Thank
say MGBA is better than Visual Boy Advance.
Oh yes. Because I swear to God, when it came to Visual Boy Advance and trying to set up the whole trading, that was a nightmare in of itself back in the day.
Yeah, MGBA you can trade with yourself.
Absolutely new
You'll have to link
problem.
me. You'll have to link me to that.
Oh. Oh yeah. I think there should be tutorials out there that explain it how. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes.
Woo!
How to send cicada. With this, I have almost every bug on record.
Good, yeah.
God damn it.
Hmm. Oh my god. Okay.
Those. You guys ever seen the abridgment of Fist of the North Star done by Weekly Tube Show?
At some point, probably.
Yeah, probably just for a brief bit.
I swear, or he just finds a way to make one of the funniest, comically serious characters out there in the form of his version of Kenshiro.
Yeah. Hmm.
What part didn't you like? Oh, you broke my fucking back! Oh, we haven't gotten to that part yet. What did you...
Oh man.
Damn it!
Hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I was watching
Oh.
some...
Oh, thank
I was
fucking
watching
God.
some like a parts of a retrospective to the Legacy of Goku trilogy, which I want to try out the second game. I have already seen enough of the first game to be like, yeah, no, this isn't something I want.
And it's even baffling, like, literally the whole Frieza fight, you just gotta exploit Solar Flare and then just get a couple
No,
of
no, no,
punches
that's
in
not.
on him.
No, that's not the Frieza fight. That's every fight in that game.
Oh, that is true.
The minute you learn Solar Flare, that's it. That's your strategy.
You basically, Goku basically makes everyone his bitch.
Yep, and the max level you can get up to is 25.
Ah. And sadly, I think even the first Samurai Warriors and Sengoku Basara had that. The maximum level is 20, but Basara 2 and onwards, 100.
I can tell you, Legacy of Goku 2 is much better.
Mm-hmm. Even so much
And the
so that
max
it...
level cap is 50.
Yeah. I mean, heck, even
does
the
that
Legacy of
sound?
Goku 2 made its way into Japan as Legacy of Goku 2 International, where they had some slight tweaks to the game.
And you've
And
got
I'm sure-
recreations of the Falcon of Production score, and the dialogue is
I got a
basically
wrench.
lifted from the dub. Mostly the edited version on the edited tapes and TV broadcasts.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair on them,
They really didn't have a whole lot
to
to
be
work
fair
off.
on yeah, to be fair on Webfoot, they did not have access to the source.
And I got
Time.
another
With
lock
Legacy of Goku 2, they did at least do their research.
and some more
Yeah.
scrap.
But I will say the one slight, obvious, understandable complaint people had was the Gohan not having the right outfit when he fights Cell.
Yeah,
Mostly-
he's in his Saiyan armor, when he's in the Room of Spirit and Time, or Hyperbolic Time Chamber.
The
Yeah.
hypersonic lion tamer.
That one was on purpose!
That's why it's hypersonic, Gohan.
I thought it was,
Oh,
I
most-
thought
I was supposed to know.
And I
Goku.
will admit that I did read the dialogue, and I even mimicked the voices from the dub at that time.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
like when Vegeta used to sound like this!
Yeah.
My Vegeta's somewhat influenced by that. I like to think that I'm somewhere between the three versions.
Though
And-
when I mimic Chris Sabat's Vegeta, I prefer how he sounded around the Buar.
Although to be fair, yeah, I do kind of like how Sabat's Vegeta sounds in Kai, where he's definitely taking a bit more cues from the Japanese, from Ryo Horikawa.
yeah, he sounds way better in Kai.
I agree.
My favorite version.
when he sounded a bit more like this!
My favorite version of Vegeta is Kai or Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
Like,
If anyone's go-
Sabat has most improved.
Yeah.
I find it baffling how people on social media could flat out say that they preferred the version of Vegeta or he's like, Idiots! Behind you!
Idiots behind you!
And Piccolo's like, what?
Idiots
Yeah.
behind you!
Hey, watch
I
where,
will say
what?
the partial
Hey, watch where
redubbing
you're going,
voice
you
acting
fool!
was a bit better, but again, you morons! He's behind you!
Oh yeah. I think I was like listening to a bit of a radio talk from Ryo Horikawa back in the day. Like Sabin mentioned that. I think it wasn't until
You
they
know what
got to
I'd do
probably
right
the games
here?
where he heard Ryo's performance as Vegeta.
You know what I would have done right there is I would have just climbed up the fucking bulldozer. Stop the bulldozer, driver, before you become a pancake. I fucking shot him and it didn't do anything.
What do you mean? Oh man.
So... So I think one of the funny is I find it funny how like while back, it's like we look back on what used to be acceptable in our childhood for anime dubbing, and then we just make memes out of them.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, basically taking the
Because
piss
yeah,
out
the
of them.
idiots behind you bit, it is a very well-known meme in the fandom, and people will just edit in whatever.
yeah. My favorite is when Gohan calls Nephis. You smell. I smell. It's not my fault. I've been cooped up in a space pod for years. What's your respect? Vegeta just laughing. Vegeta's just like, yeah, you totally deserve that one, Nappa.
Alright, well, this has to be on purpose. They just shoved the camera right up Grace's butt for that.
They need to get a nice ass shot.
Yeah, and it can't just be Leon's. You gotta appeal to both demographics.
Yep.
I remember I saw somebody was saying and that Leon should be like a little out of shape underneath his compression shirt in Resident Evil 9, and I was thinking, and do you think that the Japanese women who designed him would stand for that?
No, they would not.
No, they would
No,
not.
if they heard that the people complaining about, they were like, "Oh hell no!"
Like some people forget that
He's 49 years old and he's built like fucking Kenshiro underneath that thing.
Yeah, he'd be like almost on point with Kazuma-Kiri. You're like, sure, that man is looking damn good for his age.
Oh, would you look at that? It's a crimson head.
So So Alex, how does it feel knowing that we've only got one more Digimon movie to go through before we're done with Adventure?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck this. That was a crimson head, Gracie. Took all my fucking bullets to kill it, but, you know.
Whatever works.
Meanwhile, in the Devil Artemis universe, all it took for Leon to take out Cell was simply he was simply deflecting both a beam from him and a spirit bomb before just shooting him in the head with a magnum.
Oh, holy shit.
And he ends it obviously on a one-liner, as I've told Alex, is like, perfect android, huh? Guess perfection's got a few bugs. Cause I feel like that line kind of works mostly due to the fact that it's a play on obviously on the fact that Leon is both quipping about Cell's boasted perfection and as well as the fact that he looks like an insect.
Mm-hmm.
I got more inventory.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Especially, I do like how Cell looks very beetle-like, especially with his like head and
Big
wings.
bad beetle box.
Although to be fair, I even talked to Damian Clark about how like even Toriyama, after Cell was introduced into the manga, he pretty much regretted designing him like right away because of how, for goodness sakes, the man's already hard enough to draw as is.
Yeah, and now they have to animate him.
Yep, and which is why I think when it came to Boo, he wanted something more simpler so that way he could write it better. You know.
Yeah, it was
being
way easier to
strained.
draw Boo than it was Cell.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking
That's
from a
the thing I
fan's
did.
perspective. Cell is
Yeah, cause
a bitch to draw.
yeah.
That's why
Mhm.
that's why I'm never commissioning art of him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Those
the artist
spots
will be
that are-
like, because the artist is just going to tell me, no, I refuse.
Yeah. Which is, I feel like, when
my name's
a lot of the idea. I feel like with Toriyama when
draw.
I feel like when it came to for Toriyama, like some of the ideas he had for Cell would probably be carried over into Boo.
Boo's got holes on him as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
and
it's like it's not nearly as egregious.
although the worst part about how Boo is designed, in as Super Boo especially, is just like it's pretty much Cell.
Yeah. Even I think he went through some slight design changes, like I think it was during the Japanese area of Kai, he still probably had like the red eyes. It's been a long time since I
No,
watched through the Japanese area.
No, Kai he had white irises
Yeah.
is until a certain point. Then he got the red eyes.
I think it kind of made sense
when
in the original
Garchomp takes
anime,
him.
where in the original anime it kind of was around the time when he faces off against Gotenks in the Spirit of Time room.
Yeah, Room of Spirit and Time, yes. But in Kai, they actually do an eye transition, which I gotta
Yeah.
admit, that was a smart edit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
My eyes were originally white, then they became red.
I think even so much so that even became a thing at one point when I think it was like AB Toys back in the day that did a couple of Dragon Ball figures. They did release a Super Boo figure with the white eyes, strangely. But looking at my SH figure art Super Boo figure, yeah, he pretty much has the red eyes as he generally is intended to have.
I still loved that one edit somebody did where they synced up the Faulkner
God damn it.
score to
Nope.
to the scene
So much
where
for modern Resident Evil being forgiving, I suppose.
Hmm.
Anyways, I was
Ouch.
saying. And so,
Yep.
oh, one person ended up doing an edit of the scene where Boo makes a guy explode.
Oh yeah.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that guy, Smitty,
Yeah.
I think his name was.
Mm-hmm. Dang. I think, yeah, I remember. There was like one scene that was removed in Kai, but I wasn't sure why it was those like two shooters that killed like an innocent old couple. Like,
Yeah,
was
that
it?
was cut in Kai, I think.
Yeah, it was still in the manga, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, looking back. Yeah.
I
I
also
could've
know
spent
in
that-
Kai they cut out the scene where Krillin thinks Piccolo's gonna eat Gohan. That was cut out in Kai, even though that was in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the Saiyan arc, by the way.
Mm.
Was that filler or was that in the manga?
That shot, like,
You just want to eat him up.
I do not!
that shot was in the manga, but it's cut out in Kai.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
after
weird.
Raditz and Goku are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo is probably. I feel like Krillin had a very active imagination. And I don't blame him for thinking that, since Piccolo was a bad guy
Yeah.
beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, nobody watched Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Sadly.
And I will keep emphasizing, watch through the original Dragon Ball before you go through Z or Kai. And then
I
Kai.
really need to go back to OG Dragon Ball.
Oh man.
There was a funny bit where Lanny actually paid tribute to how the original manga ended up doing a bit in Yu Yu Hakusho Bridge, because for context's sake, it was the last arc that Lanny covered, or the last case that Lanny covered in Yu Yu Hakusho Bridge was the case involving Yukina, aka Hiei's little sister.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm.
And it was during, and essentially it was during Yusuke and company's confrontation with this trio of demons dubbed the Triad,
Oh yeah.
and consisting of Miyuki, Inmaki, and Goku Monkey.
Mm.
Funnily enough, most of the Black Club in that abridgment were voiced over by a couple of TFS guys.
Sweet.
And Martin was putting on this kind of voice. There's a point where, as a nod to the dub when in regards to how much Gonzo Tarukane is willingly going to have to pay.
Yeah.
Because Tarukane and the Black Club were gambling on Yusuke, Botan, and Kuwabara's lives in terms of rescuing Yukina, and the first bet was on them making it out of the forest area filled with the demons.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably fucked now, but yeah, I'm fucked.
And Tarukane at first was the only one who seemed privy to the strength of Yusuke and company. To the point where he was going to screw over his fellow members of the Black Club out of money by offering to double all everyone's wagers.
Yeah.
And everyone except for one bet that Yusuke and Kuwabara were going to bite it. At one being Sakyo.
Ah, yes.
Who repeatedly betted on Yusuke and Kuwabara's as not only their survival, but also their triumph. In the dub, he's voiced by Eric Vale. And I'm like,
yeah.
And out of every character that Eric Vale voices in that show, he's probably the one character I like the most out of his characters in Yu Yu Hakusho.
And voiced by the late Nobuhiko Kazama, who played Sakyo in Japanese. Rest his soul.
And Sakyo was constantly betting. And as I said, Sakyo was constantly betting.
I am probably dead now. I didn't think the Crimson Head was going to be that close to me.
On a hero's survival, and to the point where he was making some really risky wagers.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like he had a plan of sorts.
And this kind of would play into the Dark Tournament arc.
Yep. And so in the the abridgment kind of makes the joke of Toguro and Sakyo having already known each other, but they try to play it off as though they don't know one another, but they say it in such a way where it's spoken at the same time, to which I'm like, that implies you do know each other, since you act like you knew exactly what to say at that moment.
I can read your mind.
And the way that Tarukane sounds is kind of like this. There's a point where, I kid you not, after Sakyo starts betting billions of dollars on this whole shindig, Tarukane is like, Sakyo, quit busting my balls. $1 billion isn't a real number. And his butler is like, sir, $1 billion is a real number. I have just been informed that $1 billion is a real number.
Yep.
You gotta admit that delivery is just... It's just a bit too funny. So yeah. Sakyo... Oh. The second bet ends up being on the Triad, who introduced themselves as such. Miyuki, Imaki, Goku Monkey!
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you can already tell right away what... So... So at first, so the first one to go up there is Miyuki. Who when Yusuke is looking for somebody to fight, they respond, "I'll be your Huckleberry." At first, there's Kuwabara is like, "We can't fight you. You're a girl." And Yusuke's like, "I'll kick your ass."
I don't care if you're a man or a woman.
I don't care if you're a man, woman, or someone's grandmother. I'm like, Yusuke, you are just absolutely based for all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And soon enough, Mass Burndead would follow in Yusuke's footsteps.
And then, and and then, and then at one point during the fight, Kuwabara, and during various points in the fight, Kuwabara repeatedly chastises Yusuke for for attacking her in such ways, which includes, "You're a mess. You can't hit her in the tatas. She's a girl." Kuwabara, if you'll just listen. Wait, tatas? And it takes a while for Yusuke to tell Kuwabara that Miyuki is a dude.
It's a trap!
She's got a penis.
Yeah.
Whoops! No, wait, no, I got
To which then Kuwabara, because as he commented, because after Tarukane was shown immediately after Yukina, he goes, "Oh my god, that's the fastest I've ever lost a boner."
Oops.
To which after he hears that Miyuki is a dude, he's like, "That's the second fastest I've ever lost a boner." They fight in Maki, which relied a fair bit on strategy. But then when it comes to Goku Monkey, he doesn't get a fight. He doesn't get a fight in the manga.
Probably.
He just gets
Beaten
bodied
off-screen.
off screen.
Yeah.
I mean, and lady just had as one of the Black Club be like, now, there's still one more member of the Triad left. Maybe he could. Well, I better call my wife and tell her our kids aren't going to college.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
So much.
And
That.
it does eventually escalate to him saying for the club to make their bets on the Taguro brothers. And at first, there's and at first he's confident in their victory, since he thinks that he's the only one who knows their strength. But then Sakyo decides to make a bet in the trillions.
Ooh.
To which then and Tarukane responds, "You're just fucking with me, aren't you? Even if I were to take that bet, there's no way I could pay that off." Up to which then and Sakyo replies that that's not entirely true, since if he sold all the Hiroseki Stonemaker or Yukina, because that's the reason why Tarukane keeps her around, kept her around, which was due to the fact that Yukina could make such a rare and expensive looking stone.
So I have something.
Tears.
I have something I want to bring up here. So,
okay,
this is about Critical Role, right?
Matt Mercer and his gang.
Yeah. So somebody in the comments of a Critical Role video is saying, so wait, when all this started, most of these guys were playing with people in their early 20s. Jeff Straley replies saying, Marisha was the youngest of the OG cast at 26, so only she was not in her 30s when the stream started. And then somebody else replies, they were all young, they have all aged. That's kind of how linear time works. Hope this helps. And then why that guy, who's the guy who started this thread, says fully grown adults shouldn't play games with children. 26? Really?
Uh-huh.
Don't know why this has to be explained to you. Motherfucker, I never would have gotten started playing D&D if I wasn't playing it with fucking adults. There were no... The kids didn't know how to run a game. We learned by playing with the adults.
Literally.
Yeah. At the game store.
Yeah.
Like, who... Am I supposed to...
Heck.
Am I supposed to wrangle up a gaggle of youngsters and teach them how to play D&D? And it was like, no, it was like, you know, the kids of the guys who played at the game store got together, you know, played some games with their parents, you know, with the other adults who were at the game store. Then as we grew up, we went on to do our own things. What the fuck is... Yeah, and then somebody else,
This
this is
sense.
Alana Daniela, says, people's concept of age gaps has become so warped because what do you mean children? Mauricia was 26 at the start of Critical Role playing with a table of people in their 30s. No one in this equation was a child. You're the weird one here, bro. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking stupid.
Christ. ID.
Indeed. So, yeah, that's just... It's like how people try to infantilize, like, people that are 19 to 20, to which I'm like, guys,
Yeah,
I think they're consenting adults.
yeah, it's like...
They know what they're doing.
Tobey Maguire's
Or-
50, dating a woman in her 20s. Is like, yeah, woman in her 20s, and he's fucking Spider-Man. And, like, you think that nobody gives a shit. She's a fucking... She's a
Honestly.
full-grown woman, and she can date Spider-Man if she wants
It's her
to.
choice.
Yep. So, yep, come on. Get back here, you son of a bitch.
Come back here, you. Or rather. Let's see if I have it.
Get the fuck over here, bitch!
Not what I was going for. But thank you,
Ah.
Scorpion.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Apparently there's a photo of Ashley in Resident Evil 9 at some point. Apparently it was a
Huh.
piece of cut content that they threw in and is like an Easter egg for the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Huh. Interesting.
Apparently it's an actual photo of Ella Freya.
Oh.
feel about
Nice. Nice.
how do you feel about Nick's voice as Leon in RE9?
Oh, I haven't actually heard much of it. I've been playing the game in Japanese.
So, yep, you're pretty much getting. He's got
Although I did
Mark
watch, although I did like it when I did like it when I watched Ben's playthrough, because Ben played the game in English.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah. Probably get around to doing. Probably get around to playing Kakarot at some point, but I'm probably gonna have. It's probably gonna be a modded playthrough with the Japanese script and whatnot. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have those voices said in Japanese because it was still during a time where I just got so fed up with what had happened during that point in time.
Mm-hmm. Scott up for it to be like, oh, Sean Schemmel sounds much better now that he's sounding a lot like Nozawa, and I'm like, no, he's not. You are lying to yourself.
And the fact that, Sabat, as, when you hear him as Zarbon Jason Birder, he sounds just as nowhere near as just as obnoxious in Kakarot. Ain't you know that? Unbelievable.
Don't play stupid with me, wanker.
I think that was a line that I think he said in Tenkaichi 1, and I think it took them until like Tenkaichi 2 or 3 to kind of have that line trimmed out. Oh my god. In fact, yeah, I will say Savage, Jason Birder, they sound just as worse. Even in Xenoverse. But, I digress.
I'm gonna be wrapping it up soon.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of just been sitting here in the save room because I know I'm about to die and I don't want to go anywhere else. So I'm just kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Meanwhile, I'm
just doing a couple more things to get more mileage out of my modded 3DS, like adding custom badges.
So, Alex, if you could change one aspect of Skyward Sword aside from the motion controls that people have hated, what would you change?
I'd add more motion controls.
Okay then. Honestly,
I want to have one-to-one motion controls for my shield too.
kind of like Mario Galaxy almost, or different?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. Well, at the very least, if there's something I did like about the Switch version of Galaxy is that at least it gives you the option to play with a regular Pro controller, but finds a way to at least include the motion a bit. Then again, when I did play through it, I didn't mind it as much, so my time with it was manageable.
Grace, Leon, chapter 5. What's so I gotta go all the way to chapter 16. Okay.
Do 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 do.
Look on the online store and all it does is take you to the page for the fucking game on Steam.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
That's funny.
Yeah. Exactly, that's what happened when I was going through TMNT Shredder's Revenge. 'Cause I was pretty much a day one supporter for that game immediately. For that.
Mm-hmm. Great. Opening this chest up. Got a red rupee. hate having to carry these things. You can see why.
Yep.
Resident Evil.
Oh, come on. There we are. Booyah.
Yeah.
The zappy zap.
Okay.
Let's open up this chest. Yeah. Why a blue rupee? Is this one of those? Oh, if you lost your shield, here's another one. Fun type of deals.
Oh, I see you lost your shield there, buddy. Well, tell you what. We can give you the shield. So. Okay. EP.
Dum. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. I really need to watch through Futopia, the follow-up series to Kamen Rider Double. My first and one of my favorite of the Kamen Rider series.
Resident Evil.
So that. Let's.
I will sit down.
One moment. Pixel.